Thank you for tuning in to The Right Hook Show. I'm your host, Cassandra White. We are celebrating Black History Month, and we're here at the one and only historic landmark, Bens Chilli Bowl. So excited. We have some great guests lined up for you. We have the matriarch. Mama Ali is here. Yes, I said Mama Ali. We have Digital Gary Williams is here. We have No Mercy Percy is here. And we got Vita Ali. So sit back, relax. We'll be right back on The Right Hook Show.
About to show these little I go. Pay attention, you should stay and learn. Turned up in the club, nigga. You know I came here with baby girl. Hey, B-A-B-I-E. Everything foreign, we ain't even Chinese. Box hot, stab bread like 9 feet. And I wish I would try to try me. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah. I be there with baby. So you can stop the hate now.
She's a boxing promoter and you know a soldier.
Welcome back to The Right Hook Show. I'm your host, Cassandra White, and we're here at the historic landmark, Bens Chilli Bowl. I'm so excited, guys. I'm really, really excited. We have the special guest, the one and only, the matriarch herself of Bens Chilli Bowl, Mrs. Ali. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, but you look amazing.
Well, I've been around for a long time.
Well, you can't tell, my sister, because you looking
Just
fabulous.
celebrated my 87th birthday. Would you believe I started here when I was 24? See that picture?
We're right there. Oh, look at you. What?
I was 24.
Well, listen. The way you look now, we can't. It's the same. It's the same.
No, not quite the same, but anyway, it's been a pleasure.
Looks good. You look really good.
Thank you.
Honored. So let us start. How is it having a sister? How do you accomplish such a feat in terms of being in business for over 60 years?
Over 62 years.
62 years?
Over 62 years. It'll be 63 years in August.
Whoa. So how do you do that? What is it? I guess it's a family unity, obviously, that keeps you going. But what are the basic things that you think is for a successful business to keep on going?
Well, first of all, you need to like what you do.
To have the passion for it.
It's not quite so difficult. When you have a passion for this, and I have a passion for people. I love people. I enjoy meeting people. And I discovered that when I worked at Industrial Bank, my very first job, in 1952.
You worked at Industrial Bank?
I did, right down the corner.
Is that amazing? Because that's another historical.
That's exactly right. I worked there when the founder was still there.
Oh,
and now the grandchildren operate that wonderful establishment.
And look at you. I mean, it's like the legacy just continues with our wonderful businesses, Black-owned businesses. I'm just so thrilled that you guys are still here. You're still, U Street, is this your first location?
This was our first location and our only location for many years.
Really?
For many, many years. This was Black Broadway, as you know.
Yes.
This was Black Broadway, so when we wanted to open a business, we decided if we could just find a spot here.
So was it right here all the time? Here?
Right here. This was an old silent movie theater called Minnehaha.
Really? What was it called again?
Minnehaha. Hiawatha's Girlfriend, if you remember your literature.
Yes.
Right.
Wow.
And it was very successful, silent movie. That was before me even. Then the Lincoln Theater next door was built.
Another historical landmark.
Right, and this became obsolete. So Ben and I were able to meet the owner of this property, which was being operated at that time as a pool hall.
A pool hall? Right.
We had lots of pool halls. That was very popular in the community as well. And we were able to lease the property in 1952. And what is so sentimental for me to recall is we met the architect, the contractor, the plumber, the electrician, and the cabinet maker within a few blocks of here, all privately owned, African-American privately owned business.
You didn't have to go outsourcing anywhere else. They were all right here in this area.
Here.
That's amazing.
But they served us for the duration of their careers, all of them.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think we can find that this day and time. Unfortunately, we can't.
No, now if you call the plumber, you'll get an answering service with a promise to call you back in 24 hours.
Yeah.
I could call my plumber at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, we've got a leaking pipe. He said, I'll be right right there.
Yeah, that's what you.
But anyway, that was the kind of community
That we had,
yeah,
absolutely.
in those days, yeah.
So, Mrs. Ali, let me ask you something. The March on Washington, what was that like going through those, the time? I mean, were you guys ever afraid or?
Well, during the civil rights movement, when there was all this violence happening in the South, we didn't really expect that here, but it did get kind of heated up in 1967. You know, when H. Rod Brown was talking about burn, baby, burn, if we don't get equality, if we don't get the jobs that we deserve or the housing that we deserve. And Stokely, the SNCC office was right across the street.
It was right across the street from here?
The D.C. SNCC office.
Whoa.
Stokely Carmichael was in here every single day in the late 1960s.
They had the Black Panther movement.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. So yeah, there was some talk of maybe there could be some unrest, but then Dr. King had a satellite office at 14th and U.
You were surrounded by all these.
Absolutely.
That's just amazing.
Yeah.
So how can you compare the Black Lives Matter to the civil rights and the March on Washington? Can you compare those two, or is?
Well, that March on Washington, I remember so vividly how many people were in town, and I remember Dr. King telling me that he had met with President Kennedy, and President Kennedy said, "I don't think it's a good idea for you to bring all these people in Washington. If there's any problem, it will set your movement back." He said, "There won't be a problem." And there was no problem. And he made that amazing "I Have a Dream" speech. But when we moved forward to the last march we had, we didn't have that strong leadership. What we had was people from all walks of life, all ages, but particularly young people, from the goodness of their own heart, and knowing that we had been, we're still fighting for the same injustice that we experienced back then. So we had no leadership, but these people all came out on their own. I'm so proud. So proud. All these young people and people from all over the country.
Yeah, it's just amazing how they got that together. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You know, in that era of the civil rights and the March on Washington, where you did have the Kings and you had the Jesse Jacksons and you had
a whole bunch of
all of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
John Lewis was young at the time. He was right out there in it. Yeah.
Yes, and the Black Lives Matter, there was such a, well, obviously social media had a lot to play at as well, but there was no one leader or two leaders. There was just people saying,
coming from the goodness of their own heart. And for realizing that we're fighting for the same injustices that we fought for way back in the 60s.
Yeah, and that's just amazing that we have to still go through that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: in terms of, you have another location. There's another Bens Chilli Bowl, correct?
Yeah, there's one at 10th and H Northeast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then my children opened one at Reagan Airport. There's one at Reagan Airport.
Oh, you have one at Reagan?
There's one at Reagan. We have one at FedEx Field with the Redskins. We have one at Nats Park that's been there since that new, beautiful park opened.
Oh, wow.
And just to think about, they won the World Series last year.
Yes. And
we would have had a very, very handsome year.
Yes, yeah.
We would have had a very lucrative year.
Oh, a very lucrative, yeah.
But that didn't happen.
Because of the pandemic.
Because of the pandemic.
And how are you dealing with that in terms of Bens Chilli Bowl? I'm sure the business is not as where you would like it to be.
This is the biggest challenge of all. We've had many challenges. We've gone through the riots of 1968, which was difficult and really literally destroyed the neighborhood. We've gone through the drug era that lasted nearly 20 years. This beautiful neighborhood becoming a ghetto.
Yes.
And then we've gone through the construction of that Green Line subway that dug up the street in front of us. 65 feet down.
Oh my God.
Not one single car. While they built that subway, I had one employee.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. So we've had challenges, but nothing like this one. Because people are getting sick. People are losing their lives. That's very different. And not to mention, we don't know what the future holds.
Well, we don't know. We don't know. And the restaurants, the entertainment, business, I mean, they're really catching a lot, and that's the most unfortunate thing. So, but hey, we just like you said, you just have to be strong, tough, and you know,
just have
keep on
to
going.
know that we'll get through this together.
That's right.
And I have to say thank you to our Chilli Bowl family, our extended family,
Yes.
our friends and supporters across this city and across this country.
That's right.
When someone, a media person wrote an article that said we're on the brink,
Yeah. Oh, really?
you would be surprised. Yeah, we didn't say that. We say we're struggling.
Well,
We didn't
yeah,
say we're-
yeah.
But
They came out with great support.
with great support. They came out with their checks and money orders and sending money and letters of encouragement. And we were able to take all those funds and give back by feeding the medical staff of the Howard University
Oh,
Hospital.
that was great. That was
And the
great.
hospital center, the firemen and all those folks that teachers and everything, and even protesters we were able to do.
I mean, see, that's the beauty of your family, because you guys, you give. And that's why I think you have the longevity that you have, because you are a family that gives.
Well, we've always been a community-based place.
Yes.
We wanted to be a community-based place. And when I think back about the old days, I get so sentimental sometimes, because
Oh, that's fine.
we had what I call an extended family of young men that literally thought this was their place.
Place.
And when the riots happened in 1968, they were actually, oh no, no one's going to touch this Chilli Bowl.
Wow.
But these are people that
They
grew
not-
up here. They
yeah.
played basketball
They said, don't
together.
touch it.
Yeah,
Don't even think about it.
One drove a cab, one worked in the post office, one did illegal numbers, one was in law school. All, just a background of different people. But, you know,
I mean, you look around, you have pictures of President Obama and back there. I mean, you have
and
had
right there,
so
look at that big, beautiful one. Did you know that he was here 3 weeks ago?
No.
Yes, he was.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, he was doing an interview for Complex News, the social media network.
Oh, really?
And in that back room, he did his interview with just a reporter. We had to close for the entire day, but it was a pleasure.
I guess it was. You had, you had the President of the United States here.
And we had an opportunity to get a photo of him, and his assistant came, as we said, she said, where would you like the photo? We'd like it right under this sun. Okay, so she came out before he arrived and measured 4 spaces. Vita and my other daughter-in-law were here, and me. That's all that was allowed to stay.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So she came out and measured 4 spaces, 6 feet apart, and put their blue tape. And when he finished his interview, we took the photo. It was wonderful.
Oh my God!
But I was so happy to see the protection he's getting.
Oh yeah, we want him to be protected.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, oh yeah. They even put a black curtain across the front of the store here.
Really? They put a black curtain?
Yeah.
So nobody could see, you know?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They really go the extra mile to
they
make
go
sure.
that extra mile. I was so
Yes,
happy
yes.
to see that. Yeah.
So,
and he looked wonderful.
So
And I got my book signed. Signed our books.
All right, great.
Yeah.
So, Ms. Ali, in closing, what would you like people to know, and especially in the business community, you know, in terms of going through something like this? What kind of advice can you give them?
Well, first of all, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing, number one. Number two, you know, you've got to keep the faith. You've got to be strong. You've got to be patient with yourself. And just don't give up.
Don't give up.
Don't give up. If that one doesn't work, try another one, but don't give up, ever.
And you heard it from Mama Ali. Don't give up.
No.
It was a pleasure, an honor to meet
Thank
you,
you
to
so
talk
much.
to you. Thank you for taking your time out, because you could have been doing anything else, but you came to see us on the Right Hook Show.
Thank you
I'm so
very much.
happy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, we'll see you guys back here on the Right Hook Show. Put your right hook up. Come on, Mom.
Oh, the right, yeah.
BABIE, everything foreign, we ain't even Chinese. Box, I stab bread like 9 feet. And I wish y'all to try me. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah. I be there with baby. So you can stop the hate now.
She's a boxing promoter and you know a soldier. She work with big.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the Right Hook Show. I'm your host, Cassandra White, and this is our co-host right here, Mr. Leo White. He decided to sit in with us today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our show. We got some great lineup for you. We got some boxers talking about what the pandemic has done in terms of putting their boxing career on hold. And you're going to talk to Moi about how she got into the boxing business. So hope you tune in, because like I said, we have some very great pieces for you. So always remember, we always be bringing you great punches right here on The Right Hook Show.
Myth. If you get COVID-19, you'll recover after a few days. That myth is false. We're only just beginning to understand the effects of COVID-19 on the human body, as we're starting to see more and more people identifying as long haulers who are having symptoms for weeks, if not months, after their initial infection. Continue to wear a mask, socially distance, and wash your hands. Together, we can keep COVID out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
Even though there is so much against us, you will see me wearing a face covering because I care about myself and my community. You will see me as a woman who stands up for what I believe in. Join us in wearing a face covering to help stop the spread of the coronavirus, because this is one small act of kindness that has the power to make a difference.
B-A-B-I-E, everything foreign, we ain't even Chinese. Box hot, stab bread like 9 feet. And I wish y'all to try me. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah, I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah, I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah, I be there with baby. So you can stop the hate now.
She's a boxing promoter and you know a soldier. She work with big.
Welcome back, everyone. We're here with the one and only Digital Williams, Gary Digital Williams.
How you doing?
Not only is he a commentator, he's a blogger, he's a, a DC Hall of Fame, boxing Hall of Famer. I mean, wow. I mean, you haven't said everything that you do, but I'm sure you could just let everybody know.
Well, like for the last 35 years, I've been covering the boxing sport. But I covered a lot of sports prior to that. Did basketball, football, on a high school and college level. I do public address announcing. I've been the public address announcer at Coppin State University for the last 26 years, and Howard 7 years before that. I'm a graduate at Howard University, so yeah, I've been very. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So been a part of that, and just I've been a teacher, school teacher. I'm currently a narrator at tours at Arlington Cemetery, so I go past Joe Louis all the time. That's so right. It's great. So yeah, so I've done a lot.
Wow, that's a resume for you. Let me ask you, did you grow up here in DC? Born and raised in DC. Went to Georgetown Day High School. In fact, I grew up with the Ali boys. I grew up with all of them. Yep. Kamal was a year ahead of me in school. Sage was about 3 years ahead of me, and I was a little ahead of the youngest son, Nizam. I grew up with the Alis. So you grew up with the Alis. So you knew them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So let's talk about boxing along the Beltway.
Okay.
And that's one of Digital's sites that he has. He's a blogger there. He's everything, like I said. So how did you start, why did you start boxing along the Beltway?
Well, I started because, Cassandra, I just felt that it was an extension of my previous work of doing boxing in the area, but it was an idea of getting more people involved in knowing about the boxing scene here in the area.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people outside the area knew how great boxing was in the area, but a lot of people inside the area didn't know. Sure. So instead of focusing on the entire boxing scene, which I could have done like everybody else, I decided to focus on this scene, let people know that we have a great boxing scene with numerous world champions and Hall of Famers. We have some great boxing here, and that's how boxing along the Beltway got started.
So I'm going to put this to you. So do you like boxing better than basketball and football?
Oh yeah. I love watching and doing announcing, don't get me wrong, but my favorite sport has always been to watch, has been boxing. My first boxing match I saw live was Muhammad Ali taking on Alfredo Evangelista at the old Capitol Center.
Oh, really?
Back in 1977, my first live boxing show. So, yeah, I've always loved boxing, no question about it.
Let me ask you this. As a ring announcer, he's done shows for Baby Girl Production, which I'm always thrilled about. How do you prepare for that?
Well, I prepare pretty much any other announcing gig I have. I try to get there early. The weigh-ins are very important. I try to make those as best I can. Get the weights and all, find what the nicknames are, and find out where they're from and all. And then I try to just prepare myself and how I would like to hear board their names said.
Right. I thought that Tyson, especially Tyson, I thought he looked amazing in terms of his form, his fitness, and everything.
Well, I'm glad they looked fine. I'm glad no one got hurt.
Yeah.
You know, and then the other bout with Logan Paul and
the basketball player?
Right, yeah, Nate Robinson. I mean, that was ridiculous. I mean, you don't play boxing.
Right,
that's the key.
Right, that's the key.
You do not
Absolutely.
play boxing.
That's right.
And for Nate Robinson to come in there and just come and
just think he could get in the ring and do something.
Do that.
Well,
Right.
it showed you can't.
You can't do it. So it was terrible. I didn't like it. I didn't bother to watch it because of it.
So let me ask you this. In terms of, they were talking before about wearing headgears, pros.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be in favor for something like that?
I don't know. I've talked to pros about that. And every pro that I've talked about that has said that if they wear headgear, you can get cut through the headgear, you can get scraped on the headgear, so it may not be the best move. I don't know. It may not be the best move.
But how do you feel about, I think that they have made great strides in terms of the rules and regulations of boxing now.
I agree.
Where they're not letting a guy just get beat up, on the ropes and not defending himself.
Right.
I think they're jumping in at the right time. What do you feel about that?
I do agree, but I do agree that I think most of the referees that I've seen, especially the ones here in our area, do a really fine job at not waiting too late.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I think, do you remember the young man at MGM, one of the boxers?
Maxim Dadachev?
Yeah. And unfortunately, he was fine. He got out of the ring. But after that,
I credit Buddy McGirt, who was his trainer for that one. I credit him because he definitely made the difference to try to save him at the arena. Unfortunately, he died later on, but he did his best to save him at that time.
Right, absolutely. So what do you, 2021, what do you hope to see as it relates to boxing? You've pretty much been on standby in terms of, because of the pandemic and everything.
Well, I think on a national and international scale, I just want to see the best fight the best. I mean, it's time to do that.
Yes.
The way is cleared for that.
Yes.
So hopefully that'll take place. As far as the Beltway is concerned, I just hope we can get active again. I know we've been talking about, they're talking about Virginia, and of course Virginia is going to be tough going there because we just lost one of our really good people in Virginia, Tracy Fagan, who was the assistant to David Hahn at the commission, the Virginia Commission. So we lost her unexpectedly, so it's been really tough going back to Virginia and not seeing her there. But I just wanted to be active, Cassandra. I really do. I wanted to get active and try to get some bouts going. A lot of our big guys really did not fight this year. Gary Russell fought once prior to the pandemic. Jared Hurd didn't fight at all. So hopefully we can get going in 2021 again.
Yeah. So as you know, we're celebrating Black History Month, and we're here at Bens Chilli Bowl. What memories do you have?
As far as
Bens Chilli Bowl.
Oh goodness! I mean, again, growing up with Ali, I come down here often. When I used to work not that far from here. I used to teach in a school up the street, so I'd come down here on a pretty regular basis, either here or the Bens next door, and hang out and see Kamal especially, and we just had a lot of fun. So legendary place. It's done an outstanding job over the years. Survived so much. And still going strong. It's really great to see.
I'm so happy that we were able to film here for Black History Month. And so, Digital, it's always a pleasure when I see you.
Same here, Cassandra.
Thank you for stopping by the Right Hook Show. We always love you.
Yeah, love you too.
Doing the ring announcing thing because, I got to have you there.
Appreciate it.
We'll be right back on the Right Hook Show.
BABIE, everything foreign, we ain't even Chinese. Box hot, stab bread like 9 feet. And I wish y'all to try me. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah. I be there with baby. So you can stop the hate now.
She's a boxing promoter and a soldier. She work with big.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Right Hook Show. I'm your host, Cassandra White, and this is our co-host right here, Mr. Leo White. He decided to sit in with us today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our show. We got some great lineup for you. We got some boxers talking about what the pandemic has done in terms of putting their boxing career on hold. And you're going to talk to Moi about how she got into the boxing business. So hope you tune in because, like I said, we have some very great pieces for you. So always remember, we always be bringing you great punches right here on the Right Hook Show.
Myth. If you get COVID-19, you'll recover after a few days. That myth is false. We're only just beginning to understand the effects of COVID-19 on the human body, as we're starting to see more and more people identifying as long haulers who are having symptoms for weeks, if not months, after their initial infection. Continue to wear a mask, socially distance, and wash your hands. Together, we can keep COVID out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
Even though there is so much against us, you will see me wearing a face covering because I care about myself and my community. You will see me as a woman who stands up for what I believe in. Join us in wearing a face covering to help stop the spread of the coronavirus, because this is one small act of kindness that has the power to make a difference.
B-A-B-I-E, everything foreign, we ain't even Chinese. Box hot, stab bread like 9 feet. And I wish y'all to try me. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah. I be there with baby. So you can stop the hate now.
She's a boxing promoter and you know a soldier. She work with big.
Boxers, a lot of the boxers are not doing that well. I don't know whether they, what they do with their money. I mean,
what happened is, they think the money will be there for the rest of their life.
Right.
And then they forget to plan for the future. Mm-hmm. What I did was, when I got out of boxing, I bought some property. Mm-hmm. And I bought one got me another. I bought another got me one, another got me another one. So I bought property, and I don't rent out houses, I rent out rooms. So I capitalize, like one house, I can have 5 rooms in one house.
Right.
So that's like, instead of 1 tenant, that's 5 tenants. And sometimes the tenants don't pay.
Right.
So if 1 or 2 don't pay, the other 3 paying.
Right.
And I have some houses that have 6 tenants in. So, and I do that, and of course I do HVAC on the side. So
that's a money maker right there.
My company's called Air Champion, of course, So when Air Champion do pretty good because it's a money maker doing it.
Well, you know what? You need to be the poster boy, the poster guy for our boxers to say, hey, there's a life after boxing.
Right. So
absolutely.
But after that, I had to meet a good woman that sort of got me on the right track.
Yeah.
Sort of got me, helped me start me off buying houses. I mean, listen, I met this lady named Pamela McKenzie, and she changed my life.
And that's what I say. You gotta have a good black woman.
She changed my life, and I'm like all for the better. And
that's
it's
right.
I mean, we have a bar on 8th Street.
And the name of that bar?
Ocean Lounge.
Ocean Lounge. Where is it?
1220 8th Street, lower level.
Wow.
And we shut down there because of the pandemic. But as soon as the 15th comes home, we'll be back popping and rocking because it rocks.
Right. So let me get back to your boxing thing. Where was your base training? Was it here in DC? That's how you happened to?
Well, no. I always trained in Baltimore, but I fought in DC a lot. That's why I'm a DC Hall of Famer and I'm a Maryland Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. You
okay,
jumped ahead of my.
I apologize. I apologize. Like you don't know, I'm 2-time Hall of Famer. You don't meet many of them, 2 times.
Yeah, you absolutely.
I'm 2-time Hall of Famer,
Yeah, and absolutely. We were going to get into that because I have that on there. What was it like to? I want to talk about the DC Boxing Hall of Fame. What was your first thought when they called you and said, "Hey, we want to put you in this Hall of Fame"?
Well, first I think I was a Baltimore Hall of Famer first, and because I did a lot for Baltimore. I brought a championship belt back to Baltimore in the '90s. When they called me for DC, I was just so grateful because nation's capital, part of the nation's capital,
Right, absolutely.
Barry.
Right.
I'm like,
right.
I just want to be a part of that.
Right. Can I get your take on the Mike Tyson and Roy Jones fight?
Well, I must say this. Listen, I don't want to jeopardize the boxing world, but that was just a money maker for both of them. Mike Tyson made 10, Roy made 1 million. Right. Tyson made 10 million. I mean, but they look terrible. They look like. See, listen.
I thought.
No, listen.
I'm thinking the opposite.
Sorry, when you 35, 40, boxing is not your sport. Tennis, running, playing basketball, running, whatever, you can do that. But getting punched on, getting pounded, After 35, it's like way down here. And then at 50, at 45 and 50,
Right.
it's way down here. So no.
But for the sake of, they really weren't. That was sort of like it wasn't like a really competitive fight
no,
in terms.
It was
of
an exhibition.
Exhibition, right? It was an exhibition. So,
but it was a fight because when you have two boxers, two good competitors, you have two dogs, two gladiators fighting. It's like, okay, we're gonna spar. Of course, you try to outdo the other.
Yeah.
Right, you trying to outdo the other one, and of course.
You didn't think they looked good? I mean,
No. Listen to me.
I thought Tyson was fit.
And Tyson looked good, but as far as as far as boxing, the quality of boxing, no, they look terrible. To me, I'm sorry, you're talking about an expert boxer.
Right, I know. Listen,
it was a waste of time.
For me.
Listen to me. It was a waste of time. And
Right.
I'm sure millions of people thought it was a waste of time too. And plus, on pay-per-view, they made money off that.
Yeah.
In fact, it was one of the biggest pay-per-view. It was one of the big pay-per-view's biggest performers.
Yeah.
Biggest paydays.
Can I ask you this? What do you feel about that? That's another question about boxing being on pay-per-view. All the big, remember back in the day we had Joe Louis, not Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali,
right,
Sugar
on
Ray
TV,
Leonard, on
right,
TV,
right,
free.
Right, free. But I mean, it's about dollars. If you don't make dollars, don't make sense. In boxing, really.
You don't think that's ruining boxing because you're not able to?
If you look at boxing right now, you don't see a lot of great stars, a lot of great fighters out there.
Right.
Because of the money.
Yeah.
It's a money thing.
Right.
But I think right now, boxing boxing taking a big step downwards
Yeah.
as far as from years of past.
Yeah.
And I just see boxing declining.
All right, now I'm going to throw some names out to you, okay? And I want you to rate from 1 to 5, 5 being the toughest. How tough were these fights? These guys I'm throwing out to you. Roy Jones. From 1 to 5, was that a tough fight or not?
You see, Roy jumped on me. Roy hit me with a, I must kind of demonstrate. Roy,
Yeah.
the very first punch, first round, Roy said, "Pop!" Got me like that, right? I buckled, right? The very first time I buckled, when I buckled, I never got right. From the first round to the fourth round, I was on Day Street, I was on Queer Street, and I couldn't show my talent. I couldn't show who. I couldn't, But at the same time, that was my last fight, and I knew that was gonna be my last fight because in my mind, I boxed 20 years, and I was getting fame, but I wasn't getting enough money.
Yeah.
So this fight gave me enough money to really get myself on the right track.
Gotcha.
So, that's why I took the fight.
Yeah.
'Cause I really wasn't ready. I wasn't in enough shape to fight a quality.
All right,
fight.
well, let me throw another name out to you. Roy McIlroy. Roy
McIlroy.
Yeah, Roy
That's a
Mc-
golfer.
That was a 1 to 5. Which one?
Hold up.
5 being the toughest?
Hold up. Roy McIlroy. Nobody destroyed me the way Roy Jones did. Roy Jones demolished me. He looked so bad. Really, he demolished me. He said in an interview later on, once he beat me, he knew he was a good fighter. Yes, he was a good fighter because but that was my toughest fight.
Right.
You say Roy McIlroy. Nobody was tough as Roy Jones.
So you would put him on maybe like 3, 2, 3.
2.
All right, what about Bernard Hopkins?
Let me tell you something. I fought Bernard, but I beat Bernard. Listen to me. I fought Bernard, but listen. You look at the fight. I beat Bernard from round. We only fought a 6-round fight. It was the beginning of our career, of our pro career. I beat Bernard from round 1 to round 6 because I fought him in Philly. They gave the fight to Bernard. Only reason I fought him in Philly, they gave the fight to Bernard. But look, I won that fight.
You only lost in your whole professional career. You only lost 4 fights.
Right. But no, that's 4 too many. With a person like myself, that's 4 too many. Listen. I started boxing at 9. By the time I got 18, couldn't the world beat me. My biggest mistake was I turned pro too late. I turned pro, I was 25. Follow me? I should have turned pro at maybe 20. But I didn't have the smarts.
Did you think you started out late or no?
I turned pro too late. At 25, that's your down career. See, at 20, 21, 23, 22, that's when you peak, get your prime. I wasn't boxing then. I wasn't, I was just living life.
So in closing, what are your thoughts about the boxing world now? In terms of the quality of boxers we have.
Right now, we have very few quality fighters out there. I mean, I'm sure some up and coming guys I don't know about, but on the scene right now, on the pro circuit right now, it's very few quality good boxers out there on the pro circuit right now, especially the heavyweight division.
Right.
I mean, your lighter weights, your welter weights, you have a lot of great fighters on that weight. But from my weight up, from middleweight to heavyweight, it's very few.
Right.
Very, very few.
Well, you heard it from him. No mercy, Percy. Thank you for coming by and talking to us.
It's a pleasure seeing you.
DC Boxer Hall of Famer and Maryland Boxer Hall of Famer, and we're so happy that he came by to bless us with his presence.
Thank you.
So we'll see you guys on the Right Hook next time.
BABIE, everything foreign, we ain't even Chinese. Box, I stab bread like 9 feet. And I wish y'all to try me. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah, I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah, I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah, I be there with baby. So you can stop the hate now.
She's a boxing promoter and a soldier. She work with big.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Right Hook Show. I'm your host, Cassandra White, and this is our co-host right here, Mr. Leo White. He decided to sit in with us today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our show. We got some great lineup for you. We got some boxers talking about what the pandemic has done in terms of putting their boxing career on hold. And you're going to talk to Moi about how she got into the boxing business. So hope you tune in because, like I said, we have some very great pieces for you. So always remember, we always be bringing you great punches right here on the Right Hook Show.
Myth. If you get COVID-19, you'll recover after a few days. That myth is false. We're only just beginning to understand the effects of COVID-19 on the human body, as we're starting to see more and more people identifying as long haulers who are having symptoms for weeks, if not months, after their initial infection. Continue to wear a mask, socially distance, and wash your hands. Together, we can keep COVID out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
Even though there is so much against us, you will see me wearing a face covering because I care about myself and my community. You will see me as a woman who stands up for what I believe in. Join us in wearing a face covering to help stop the spread of the coronavirus, because this is one small act of kindness that has the power to make a difference.
BABIE, everything foreign, we ain't even Chinese. Box, I stab bread like 9 feet. And I wish y'all to try me. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah, I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah, I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah, I be there with baby. So you can stop the hate now.
She's a boxing promoter and a soldier. She work with big.
Welcome back to the Right Hook Show. I'm your host, Cassandra White. As you remember, we're still here. We haven't left. We're here at the historic landmark, Bens Chilli Bowl. We met the matriarch, Mrs. Ali. Now, we got one of the other family members here. So excited. We have Vida Ali. This pretty young lady is here all the time, working her little self to death. But we're so excited to have her here. So, Vida, how long have you worked with the Alis? I know you're married to one of the sons, but tell us about your journey in being a part of this beautiful family and what it has meant for you to be involved with Bens Chilli Bowl.
I've been part of the family for 35 years, and I actually worked here before I moved to LA and became a publicist.
Really?
I know, it's crazy. And so I worked here, and I loved the energy. I loved what it meant for the community, and I felt that it was part of something bigger, that what we contributed to a culture.
Right.
And I was proud of that. So when I went to California, became a publicist, I kind of oversaw the PR from there. And I watched it kind of continuously blossom into something. It kept growing, and people appreciated what we stood for and what we were becoming and so forth. And I think we represent a culture and a community that we're proud of. But I couldn't be more proud of my in-laws because it's like you heard Mom say,
right.
You know, this was supposed to be a little hot dog place, right? And here we are 62 years later.
62 years later, and you guys have everything on the menu. I mean, you're talking about half-smoked, hamburgers, chicken sandwich, salads, vegetarian meal. I mean, everything. You name it, they have it here at Bens Chilli Bowl.
Like your last guest, he just ordered 2 Beyond Burgers. He's like, I didn't know you had Beyond Burgers. So he just got 2 Beyond Burgers and a turkey burger. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely.
See, I didn't know that. So, your Mama Ali also was talking about the other sites you have. Tell us about those sites. I know you have one on H Street. I believe she said at the airports. Or?
Yeah, so we've been blessed in the last 10 years or so. We started expanding. We first expanded to Nat Stadium, what ended up being one of a really nice stand. It was one of their busiest. So from there we got interest. We're at FedEx Field, and like you said, we're now at Capital One Arena.
Wow.
I know. It's the airport. At the Horseshoe Casino.
Wow, that's amazing. This is amazing. I'm
Right?
just so excited. Because now when I go to these spots, I can I can go get me a Bens Chilli burger.
And you know what's cool about those is you're going to see a game or you're going to the casino, but you don't have to drive in anymore to U Street.
Right.
Because a lot of people in Baltimore, you know, they were asking for a location there.
Absolutely.
So this way we kind of do both. We're in the casino and those who want to have smoke and just come in and get one.
No, you're absolutely right, because people actually all over the world know about Bens Chilli Bowl, and that's not saying that that's true. That's facts. They come from all over the place. You know, like Mom said, you had President Obama here. I mean, it's amazing.
You know what was the most, I'll never forget this moment. I don't know if she told you that Obama on his book tour did an interview here recently.
Yes, she told us about that too.
And
yes.
the host who was doing the interview before President Obama came in, we were just speaking with him, and he asked Mom the question, so what does this mean to you? Because he came in here 10 days before his first election as president-elect, before his first inauguration, excuse me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as president-elect, the first time.
Whoa.
And that was amazing because it was like his first public outing. Mayor Fenty brought him in. But this time he was promoting the book called A Promised Land. And Mom said something, and it touched me so deeply. She said, I sat with King, speaking about the Promised Land and speaking about what he dreamt. And here, the first African-American president is bringing a book called that. I mean, she was like, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Right.
This is what I'm saying.
It's
Mama Ali is
priceless.
like a walking history book. She really is. It's just her knowledge about certain things. It's just, you can just sit there and just listen to her all day long.
But I appreciate those like the President Obama or the mayors or the city giving her that love back, because it's that's what keeps us going.
Yeah.
Honestly, she's 87.
You wouldn't,
and she's here every day.
and her skin is flawless.
Right.
I mean, I'm looking at her. I'm saying,
Every
what?
day.
Give me a
Yeah.
break. You're not what? No, there's no way.
Every day.
I just love her to death. She's like, I mean, you know, when I look at her and I just hear her talk, I'm just thinking of my mom. You know, she's passed away, but I'm just so, you know, inspired by her. You know, just her wealth of knowledge and just her love of people. You know, I'm just so happy. You guys are a wonderful family. You're doing great things in the community.
Thank you.
And I just thank you so much for being a part of the Right Hook
Absolutely,
Show.
and thank you for coming down and
Thank you.
asking to be on your show. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Vida Ali here, guys.
And Cassandra here. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you guys. So we'll see you next time on the Right Hook Show.
BABIE, everything foreign, we ain't even Chinese. Box, I stab bread like 9 feet. And I wish y'all to try me. I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah, I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah, I be there with baby. I be there with baby, yeah, I be there with baby. So you can stop the hate now.
She's a boxing promoter and you know a soldier. She work with big.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to the Right Hook Show. I'm your host, Cassandra White, and this is our co-host right here, Mr. Leo White. He decided to sit in with us today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our show. We got some great lineup for you. We got some boxers talking about what the pandemic has done in terms of putting their boxing career on hold. And you're going to talk to Moi about how she got into the boxing business. So hope you tune in because, like I said, we have some very great pieces for you. So always remember, we always be bringing you great punches right here on the Right Hook Show.
Myth. If you get COVID-19, you'll recover after a few days. That myth is false. We're only just beginning to understand the effects of COVID-19 on the human body, as we're starting to see more and more people identifying as long haulers who are having symptoms for weeks, if not months, after their initial infection. Continue to wear a mask, socially distance, and wash your hands. Together, we can keep COVID out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
Even though there is so much against us, you will see me wearing a face covering because I care about myself and my community. You will see me as a woman who stands up for what I believe in. Join us in wearing a face covering to help stop the spread of the coronavirus, because this is one small act of kindness that has the power to make a difference.
About to show these little I go. Pay attention, you should stay and learn. Turned up in the club, nigga. You know I came here with baby girl.
Hey, B-A-B-I-E. Everything foreign, we ain't even Chinese. Box, I stab bread like 9 feet. And I wish I would try to try me.